Hello, good morning. Am I audible? So last session, I have explained you like how we can create an application with the help of Workspace and what are the different files and folders that what it creates, what an app folder will do, and what assets will do, what index.html and the main.ts and the styles.css. So we have like different files, like what each and every file will do. I have explained in the last session. And when it comes to the Angular building block, Angular is completely a component-based framework. Now, what exactly the component is, if we can open like any website, maybe I'll open, let's say w3schools.com. And here, if I open like any of the tutorial, maybe I'll be going with the JavaScript. Now here, you can see in this particular place, in this particular space, whatever we are having, okay, whatever we are having, this total, what we call it as navigation menu, right? This is going to be one component in Angular. And at the same time, here we have another navigation. This is going to be one component. And here we have the content. This is going to be one component that we are having. And here you have like a logo, and then following with a couple of links here. This is going to be another component. That means a component is nothing but simple terms. I can say it is the combination of the HTML along with the business logic. Now we have different parts. That means the same in one application or else in one web page, you can create multiple components. In one page, you can use multiple component. That means header is one component, footer is another component. Like that, you can create n number of components as the part of your requirement. Give me 1 minute. That is where, like, we call it as a component. Component is nothing but it's a Angular is made up completely with the help of components. And every Angular application development must involve the following things. So programmatically, what are all the things we should have? First one is going to be, we have the module, a module which is used to improve the modularity of that application. And second one is the factory, which is used to, a factory is nothing but the predefined functions, I can say. And we do have the services. A service is a collection of factory. And then following with the template is nothing but the HTML logic, or else like HTML, I can say. And we have the pipe. A pipe is used to transform the data. And then following with the directives, routing, and metadata. So every Angular you can take, these are all the things which are very important for us. Understand? Which are very important for us. Now, the very first thing and the basic fundamental thing when it comes to the Angular is going to be components in Angular. So today's session is very important, guys. If anyone who are not able to understand, you please let me know. I'll explain you one more time. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, I'm not taking anything bad, even if you are asking me for like 2 times, 3 times. But make sure, please do concentrate here. Don't deviate from the subject. Because Java and .NET, those are going to be very easy to understand. Where it provides you lot of intelligence feature, and we have many things are there. But coming to client side implementation, client side is a bit difficult to understand, but performance wise client is too good when compared with the server. That is where nowadays we have a great job openings for the Angular developers and React JS developers. So understanding the concept is very important. If you're not understanding, just to do let me know. I'll explain you one more time, but don't deviate by joining from the mobile, getting the call, or else doing something. Just to block your calendar for 1.5 hours on daily basis until we close the sessions. Right. Now, what is a component? A component in Angular is a basic building block. Sure, Johra. Okay, a component in Angular is a basic building block to build the Angular application. To build the Angular applications. That means here components are nothing but these are the basic building blocks which are going to be used to build the applications. That is what we call it as a component. And every component you can take, which is the combination of 3 things, guys. Every component you can take, which is combination of 3 things. Every component is combination of 3 files, I can say. 3 files. Generally, it is 3 files only, but optionally, if it is 4 files, that means it is 4 files. Every component is the combination of what? 3 files. Okay, every component is combination of 3 files. So the first file is going to be the presentation, and second file is going to be the styles, and third file is going to be business logic. Understand? That means every component in Angular is made up with the help of 3 files. The first one is going to be the presentation, and the second one is going to be style, and the third one is going to be business logic. Now here, as I told you, presentation is nothing but it's a design. Understand? It is nothing but design of the page. I can say simple terms, it is nothing but a simple design of the page, I can say. And then by default, design of the page, and it can be implemented by using HTML. It can be implemented by using the HTML, and we have the file extension. We have the file extension. We have the file extension. That is, we have the file extension that is going to be, you can use any name. Dot star represent the any name, guys. Star represents any name. You can use star dot component dot, and it's a HTML file, so that you can give the HTML file name. File extension that is star dot component dot HTML, I can say. Understood? That means it's something like it's a presentation. I can say that it is a presentation layer. Simple terms, I can say that it is a presentation. Understand? It is a presentation. Why it is behaving too odd? It is nothing but the design of the page. It can be implemented by using the start.html. I mean, it's a HTML file, and the file extension for that one is going to be start.component.html that we are having. Okay, start.component.html, I can say. That is how it is going. Now, the second one is going to be the styles is available. Okay, the second file is going to be the styles, that what I can say. Now, what is meant by styles here? Now, what it contain? So basically, HTML you can take. Okay, HTML you can take. By default, it is a static. That means every HTML page you can take, which will be coming on the left side only. If you can take H1, that will be displayed on the browser on the left side. If you can take, let's say, table, that is also comes on the left side. If you can take a list, that comes on the left side. If you can take something else, that comes on the left side. But I want to do a good design. If everything, if I'm displaying on the left side, then it will be problem. That means what I'm trying to do, when I open, let's say, flipkart.com, now here in the flipkart.com, you can observe, are we getting all that items on the left side? The answer is no. We have that items like, in different places. I'm able to see it here. I'm able to see here. I'm able to see here. Like that, in different places, I'm able to get, like, the different items. If that is a case, how can I display, like, these items? That is one item here, another item here, another item here. Like, how I can do that one? For that reason, we use the styles. Understand? For that reason, we use the styles. These are used to provide good graphical interface, or else I can say it is used to provide the styles for the HTML tags. That means whatever the HTML tags we are having, in order to provide the good graphical user interface, or else like good styles, if you wanted to apply, there you can go with the styles tag. Understand? Styles. And it can be implemented by using, by using what? By using what? How to provide the styles? Tell me. By using what? CSS. It can be implemented by using CSS, or else you may use Bootstrap as well. That's up to you. Whatever you guys wants to use, you can use it. That's your wish. And I'm using either the CSS, or I can go with the Bootstrap. Now we have a file extension. We have a file extension that is I'll say something like star.component. Understand? CSS, I can say. That means if it is a HTML, we have what? Star.component.html. If it is a CSS, we have what? We have a file extension that is star.component.css. And in the same way, we have another one, that is the business logic. Now, what is the business logic? As I told you, if you can remember, Angular is not only used to build a static DOM applications. Now, what is meant by a static DOM and what is meant by a dynamic DOM? Static DOM or static page will never change for every user request. So, which means if you try to open something like, when I right click on here, and if I'm trying to open something like facebook.com, everybody is getting the same page, right? Everyone will get what? Same page. Everyone will get what? Same page. So the content won't be changed. But if I'm giving a valid credentials, maybe I can give the credentials over here, then automatically the page is going to be constructed based on the design. Based on the data that what we are getting, the page is going to be designed. Like that it is going to be. Now, how I'm able to do such kind of thing? That means I need to write a logic over there, and that logic, what it will do, it will communicating with that means it takes the username and password that I have entered in the text boxes and then send that particular data to the backend database server, and backend database will cross validate whether that particular user has registered or not. And if they are registered, then only it gives the output for us. That is how it is going to be. That means where I need to write that logic, the complete logic has to be implemented. The complete logic has to be implemented with the help of what? TypeScript. Understand? So that means these are used to write business logic, business logic like display the data dynamically. Understand? Or else let's say business logic like, sorry, getting the data, or else submitting the data, to the server, or else performing calculations, etc. All those things that you can write it over here. The business logic, all those things we can write. And here we have a file extension. Here we have a file extension that is star dot, where star stands for any name, guys. It doesn't matter that, like, you should have only that name. It can be any name. Star dot component dot. We have what? TS is available, because as I told you, Angular you can implement with the help of TypeScript, so that all the TypeScript files we are having, the file extension of what? File extension of what? Tell me. .ts only, right? What is the file extension for the TypeScript? It is a TypeScript TS file, so that you can use the TypeScript over there. That is how it is going to be. That means every component you can take is made up with the help of these three things: presentation, style, and then we have the business logic. And here to write all these things together, understand? So to write this particular structure, so that means to design or let's say develop the above structure. Okay, to develop the above structure, we have two options. First one is going to be inline component. I can say. And the second one is going to be, we have code behind the component. Srikanth, what is the difference between inline and code behind? Which one, like, we use much more in the real time? 99% of the scenario, we will be using code behind only. 99. I'm just mentioned just to remember, 99% of the scenario, we will be using code behind. But inline components, we will be using to build a static design. Static designs in the sense where I don't want to change the design very frequently. One time if I'm doing the design, like let's say contact information. Suppose I started a company in one location. Is it possible to frequently change that locations? Tell me. Suppose I started a business from one location. Is it possible to change very frequently to the next place? So that means the content there, whatever you people are seeing, that is fixed. And we are not going to be changed very frequently at that particular moment. Anything is fine. Either you can go with inline or you can go with code behind. But 90% of our real-time application development, we will be having code behind components only. We will be understanding both. Don't worry. I'll just explain you both, like how we can make it inline and how we can make it as code behind. Both the things that I'll try to explain it to you. Now, how we can work with the component. I'll start from the very first thing. Let me open the application. What we have created. I'll go to the full stack Angular, and there we have that Angular example, Angular basic example. Otherwise, I'll remove one more time, guys. Today, for all of you guys, I'm explaining one more time, like how to create the workspace and how do we create the example and each and everything. Okay. For your understanding purpose, I'm creating one more time. Just you can see. Right. Now we don't have anything. We don't have anything. It's hardly 5 minutes now. Please bear with me. If anyone like you who missed, you may start from here. So the first thing is going to be what you need to do. We have to create the workspace. Okay, we have to create the workspace. I'll open my command prompt and then give the command. And the name of the workspace can be any name you can give. I'm just writing here Angular examples I can give. Examples I can give. And I'm not creating any application here. Just click on OK. Then automatically it creates that Angular application. Guys, those who missed the session, please follow me. Today also I'm creating one more time the workspace. If anyone missed, please follow me. Okay. It might take hardly 1 minute, not more than that. Okay. So step number 1 is done. And step number 2 is going to be change the directory. So how I can do that one? We'll go with the cd space. And what is the file name? I mean, workspace name. Okay. What is the workspace name? What it is? Angular examples is the workspace. So I created my I jump into my workspace. Now what you need to do, we have to create the application. Now workspace was created. Now it's time for creating what? It's time for creating what? Application. So how we can do that one? You can see here, ng generate application. See there, this is the command. ng generate application, and the name of the application is going to be, maybe I can say components demo, that what I can give. Okay, components demo, that what I can give. That time when I say about okay, then automatically it is asked me, would you like to add the Angular routing or not? I don't want to add it, and it is asked me, would you like to add the CSS style format or not? You can see if you are familiar with SCSS, SAS, less, you may use it, but I don't have any experience on this because I'm not more into the front-end development. I'm a full stack developer where I'm having end-to-end experience, but not much deeper into the front-end part. That is CSS, SCSS, SAS and less. CSS I can manage, but SCSS and all these things, practically I know what it is exactly, but I don't have any experience on that. That is where, okay, frankly speaking. but CSS, I can play with that. Now you can see I'm adding that so that it creates what? An application for me. It creates an application. Just a minute. Angular routing is used for the navigation purpose. Angular is used to create a single page application, right, Rajesh? To build that single page application, we use a mechanism internally. That is what we call it as a routing mechanism. Routing is a mechanism which will be used for this particular purpose. Now, what I just want to do, I wanted to create a component over here. I wanted to create a component here. So how do we create it? Now you can see, if you can go to there, an Angular example, I'll try to open with the help of command prompt. Oh, anyhow, it was already open. I'm sorry. It was already open. Now you can see it was already created. Now I'll try to open with the help of Visual Studio Code so that I can give code spacer dot I can say. Now we have the projects here, and there we are having SRC, and there if you can open the app, we have different files. See that app.component.css, app.component.html, app.component.ts, app.component.ts, app.module.ts. Like that, we have 5 different files are available. Now here what I want to do, under the tab folder, I'm creating a folder with the name components. I'm creating a folder with the name what? Components. See there. Okay. I'm creating a folder with the name what? Components, that what I have given. Clear now? Creating a folder with the name component. Now, as I told you, we have 2 set of components that are available. One is going to be either you can create inline component. Second one is going to be, we have code behind the component. Now, how to create the inline components? How to create that inline component? So for that reason, what I just want to do is, okay. Now I am creating a file here, guys. So how to create a file? Now you can see component dot. You can give any name. Maybe let's say I'll create a component something like home dot, or else let's say employee dot component dot ts I can give. Srikanth, I don't want to follow, let's say component dot ts here. Directly, if I am writing employee dot ts, is my application is not working means no, it will work definitely, guys. It will work. But why should I write like that? Because as I told you, we must have to follow the coding standards in the real-time application development. Understand? Blindly with what name you want to create, if you can create and if you can do that, that doesn't make any sense. You should follow the coding standards and best practices while implementing that application, and that is very important. Understand? If you are not follow the rules and regulation, and if you are getting an output also, if you are not follow the coding standard, and if you are getting an output also, that won't be allowed in the real time. That is where the component name should be give any name that's based on your requirement, and it should be created with the help of component.ts. Now, what is a component practically? A component in Angular. Okay, a component in Angular. A component in Angular is a TypeScript class. TypeScript class which can be created with the help of @ component decorator. decorator. Now here you will be getting another question. Srikanth, what is a decorator here? What is a decorator? That means everything you can take, which is the part of an angular, either it is a component, or it is a module, or it is a factory, or it is a service, or it is a template, or it is a pipe, or directive, routing, everything you can take. Whatever we have it in that angular is basically a TypeScript class. That means this definition is common. What is a module? A module is an angular. A module in Angular is a TypeScript class. What is a pipe? A pipe in Angular is a TypeScript class. What is, let's say, a service? A service in Angular is a TypeScript class. Then how you are going to differentiate? Understand? How you are going to differentiate? That means from service class to component class to directive class to pipe class, how you are going to differentiate. To differentiate that, we use decorator. We use what? Decorator. That means every element, or else I can say building block of angular, every building block of angular, like you may take it as a component, comma, you may take it as a service, or you can take it as a pipe, or you can take it as a, let's say, module, etc., is a TypeScript class. That means everything is a TypeScript class only. In order to differentiate, we use what? Decorators. We use what? Decorator. That means if you wanted to create a component, then I'm using a decorator that is going to be @component. @component decorator has to be used. I just wanted to create a service in Angular. Then how we can do that one? I used injectable. I use what? Injectable. Suppose I wanted to create a module in Angular. Then what I can use? I use ng module. I used ng module. Understand? ng module. Suppose I wanted to create a pipe. Then what I can do? I'll be using @pipe, I can say. So that means what it is? A decorator which is used to differentiate what type of class it is going to be. Either it is a component class, or it is a service class, or it is a module class, or it is a pipe class, or it is going to be some XYZ class. Like what type of class, that we can decide with the help of what? Decorators. Understand? A decorator is used to differentiate the angular elements. A decorator is used to differentiate the angular elements. I can say something like, let's write, etc. I can say decorator. A decorator in Angular is used to differentiate the class types, or else differentiate the angular elements, I can say. A decorator in Angular is used to differentiate that angular element. And also it is used to maintain the metadata. Metadata means information. That means @component will contain the information about the component. @injectable it is a decorator. What it contain? It contain the information about the service. @ng module, it contain the information about the module. @pipe you can take. It contains the information about the pipe. Metadata means data about the data. Metadata means data about the data. So that means here to build a component, as I told you, we must and should give what? At the rate component. So that what I can do, I'll open that application one more time here. See this? I'll open my application one more time here. Okay. I'll open my application one more time. Now, as I told you, it is a class. Now, how to create a TypeScript class? TypeScript class can be created something like this. Now, I can say that class employee component. I'm creating a class that is going to be employee component, where that employee component generally having some information, whatever it might be. I'll create some information. Let's say I'll be having employee ID, which is of type number, that what I can give, and that number I can give. And then I have an employee name, and which is of type string, where I can write Shrikant over here. Understand? And after that, I'll be having, yes, very good, EMP salary, where I can say this is also type number, that what I can give, be right. That's it. So this is how I have created. As I told you, it is a class. But how I convert this as the component class? To convert this as the component class, we use a decorator. That is what we call it as a at the rate component. At the rate component. If you wanted to use this at the rate component, we have to import from where it is going to be. You can see there from where it is available. It is showing you add import from angular.core. When I am giving that, there you can see it is a component. Now what it contains? The decorator that marks a class as an Angular component and provides the configuration metadata that determines how a component is going to be. Understand how a component is going to be processed, instantiated, and used it in the real time. That is how it is going to be. Now you can see any Angular item you can take three things made up with the help of three things. Import statement, decorator, and the third one is going to be we should have the export class. These are the three things that are very important. Import statement, and then decorator, and then following with export class. Now here in the component, what we are having, you can see we have many things that you can define it over. Now the first one is going to be, I'll be using the selector. What is the name of the selector? What is the name of the selector? You can give any name. I am writing app-employee has to be given. App-employee I am giving. Now what is the selector? By using this selector only, we are able to access the HTML page. Second one is going to be, you can see we have template is available and template URL is available. Now I'll be using the template here by writing the template. Now you can see I'm using the template here. Template will contain the HTML. Maybe I can write welcome to Angular, let's say components, and I'm going to close the H1. After that, I'll take a HR tag to come to the new line. And after that, I'm going to take a simple unordered list or whatever. Or else let's say I'm using a definition list here and close the definition list. You can see. Close the definition list. And after that, I'm having definition term is going to be, let's say, employee ID. And from where I'm getting that employee ID, I have an employee ID here. You can see that is available under this particular variable, right? I wanted to get the value dynamically to this HTML. Now what I am doing, I'm using an interpolation syntax. You don't need to worry about all these things. I'll explain you later. This is very first example. First, you have to understand how to create everything. That is my intention. Once, if you can understand, you can build anything. That's your wish. Now, in the same way, I'll be taking DT definition term. Now here, I'll be writing something like a employee name, where I can have the DD. I'll be closing the DD here. And how I can get that employee name which has given by using interpolation. That means if we can use two curly bracket, that is the syntax for that interpolation. That means by using this, you can append what? The variable name, and whatever the value we are having, okay, whatever the value we are having, we can give it over. And then let me have another DT. I'm going to close the DT here, and where I can say salary. And here I'll be using the DD. I'm taking the DD and I'm able to display that particular EMP salary. That's it. Now you can see I created my component. And here what I can do, I just want to write something like styles that what I can use. Understand? I can go with the styles as well. Now, what are all the styles you people wants to apply? That you can just give it over there. That's up to you. What are all the styles you people wants to apply it over here? Tell me what are all the styles you people wants to apply it over here? Like, yeah, text color. Very good. Nice. That means you can apply like any colors. Simple terms I can say. Okay. Maybe let me give. Suppose let's say for the H1. Okay, for the H1, I'm going to give something like, let's say, color that what I wanted to give. You can see, I'll be giving the color. Color is going to be, let's say, red color or green. Any color you can give. And then I'll give a comma. And after that, I just wanted to write something like a text align is going to be center that what I can say. That's it. So these are the styles that what I have applied. Now save this application. Now what I am doing, again I'm repeating, just a listen. First I created a folder here. Okay, first I created a folder here. Now how to create a folder, no need to explain. Select the tab, and if you can just click on here, then folder will be added, and I'm creating a folder with the name components. Okay, I created a folder with the name component. And here I'm creating a file. And what is the name of file extension? Employee.component.ts is the file extension. Now here what I'm doing, initially I have taken a class. And this is a TypeScript class, nothing apart from that one. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating a TypeScript class. Now I want to convert this TypeScript class as the component class. So how we can do that one? By using @component decorator. Now this component is available in which library? It is available under the Angular/core library. So there we are using an import statement. Import what you wanted to import. I wanted to import the component, and where it is available under the Angular/core library. And what a component decorator will contain. As I told you, component decorator. A decorator in Angular is used to differentiate that Angular element and also use it to maintain the metadata. Understand? Maintain the metadata. Now, component decorator, I can say that component decorator is having following metadata information. Following metadata. Like first one is going to be, I can say selector. It is used to load the HTML. HTML. Second one is going to be, we have the template. It is used to create the design. And after that, we have styles. It is used to provide the styles. I can say styles for HTML tags. I can say it is used to provide the styles for the HTML tags. Now here, if you people are having a template, styles, and class, understand? That means template means HTML, styles means CSS, and TypeScript, business logic, all together in one file, then that is what we call it as inline component. Did you understand? If we have HTML, CSS, and TypeScript, HTML, CSS, and TypeScript, all at one place, or in one single file, that is what we call it as a inline component. That is what we call it as inline components. All together, if you can have it in one place, that is what we call it as inline component. Understand? That is what we call it as inline component. Now, what is like, everything like at one place, if you can have, then that is what. And what is the advantage here? What is the advantage? The one advantage with this one is going to be, we can reduce the number of requests to the server. That means number of requests that you can require. I mean, you can reduce the number of requests that you can reduce. So Shrikant, what is number of requests? I hope you know, when I'm sending a request for simplegoogle.com, tell me how many requests that are sending it to the server. How many requests we are making? How many requests? Everybody says one. Because we all think like a user, but don't think like a user. We all are developers. When I'm sending a request to google.com, internally it is sending more than 20 or 30. You can see when I right click and then go to that inspect and then go to the network, and again I'm sending the request. You can see how many requests I'm making internally. See here, how many HTTP requests? Tell me. It's around 35 requests. See this? Are we able to see? 35 requests. Shrikant, but I'm making only one. Yes, one is only for the user point of view. But we all are developer. We have to think how many number of requests are happen. Shrikant, why all these requests? For every resource that is available on the screen, which is visible to you, is going to make a single request. That means I have an image here now. For this image, we have a request. If you can see, when I open, yes is available here. That is an image basically. For that is one request. And you can see, I have a photo. I have my photo here. You see here, it's my photo. And for that, again, it is one request. That means whatever the resource we are having on the page, or in order to implement this particular page, it is making one request, generally speaking. Suppose, let's say, if I'll be using code behind, what happened? Here, I can say simply, here we are going to implement by using different files, like, okay, like if it is a component, or else let's say if it is a UI, as I told you, we will be writing component.html. If it is going to be style, we will be using component dot CSS. If it is going to be logic, where you can give what? Component dot TS has to be given. That means if I'm using 3 files, then how many requests internally I'm sending? How many requests I'm sending it to the server? 3 or not. But here, if I'm using inline component, everything is available in one file. So that how many requests I'm able to send? Only one. Understand? That is the one that I have explained it to you. That means we can reduce the number of requests to the server. But here we have a problem. What is the problem with the inline? What is the problem with the inline here? Inline technique is not good for reusability and extensibility and then testing. Okay, this mechanism is not good for reusability, or else I can say extension is not possible, and also testing is also not possible. That means it is not at all a good practice to do all these things. For that reason only, 90% of the scenario, we will be taking care about the code behind. Then Shrikant, how to reduce the number of requests. Application level, we have a concept of bundling. We have a concept of bundling, and bundling will take care of this. That means to reduce the number of requests, bundling will take the request. That is where when you are executing that application, generating bundles, like that you will be getting some message. Did you observe anywhere? Anytime when you are executing that application, generating the bundles, the first execution will start in the command prompt, will that line only. That means bundling is the concept which will be taken care. Okay, leave about that. I'll explain it to you later. Don't worry. But generally, that is how it is going to be. Now, I created a component, but the thing is how I can execute this component. Okay, so to work with the component, I'll write the steps here. To work with the component, we used to follow below steps. Step number 1, create a TypeScript class file and use @component decorator and use @component decorator. Okay, fine. That part is done. Now, once if it is done, what would be the next step? What would be the next step? What would be the next step? The next step is going to be, once the component is ready, if you wanted to execute that component, register the component in any one module. Understand? In any one module. Right now, I'm having only one module, app.module.ts is available. So that is the reason where register the component in any one module. Because modularity is very important for us. Modularity is very important in the Angular. So that everything you can create, that should be the part of the module. Now what I am doing, I created my component. What is my component? Employee component I have created now. Now go to the module.ts file. And here use it in the declaration section. And this employee component class is available in a different file, so that you can write the import statement here. So how do we write it? Tell me. Import. Okay, what you wanted to import? Employee component. And from where you have to import? Under the components folder, we have an employee.component. So this is the step number 2. That means register the component in any one module. Any module, it doesn't matter, like, you should follow like only one module. You can go with any one module and you can register it. That is how it is going. And then step number 3 is going to be, bootstrap the module. Bootstrap the module. So that means registration can be done here. Under the declaration, you can use it. Under the declaration, you can use. Okay, fine. That's good. Now, the next one is going to be what? Bootstrap. Bootstrap in the sense, setup like, this is my starting module. Starting component. How do we do that one? Here only, right now, which component is bootstrapped here? See this? Right now, which component is bootstrapped? Tell me, everyone. Tell me, everyone, which component is bootstrapped right now? App component. But now what we wanted to do, we wanted to execute employee component so that in place of that, you can give it over there. Bootstrap the component. Bootstrap the component. So how we can do that? Under the bootstrap section, you can give employee component. And the fourth step is going to be use the selector in index.html. Now, what is the selector we have created? What is the selector? App-employee I have given. Shrikant, can I create only with the name and employee? Yes, you can. Shrikant, can I give my name? Yes, you can. That's up to you. Whatever like you people wants to give, you can just give it over there. That's up to you. Now I'm having app-employee, copy that, go to that index.html, and then now I'm trying to give it over there. That's it. You can close it. Done. It's done. It's done. Now again, I'm explaining, guys. Step number 1, create the component. Now I'm creating what? Inline component. See there. There only I'm having an import statement. I used like, what selector and what would be the template and what are the styles. Everything I defined it over here. Step number 1 is clear for all. Tell me. Step number 1 is clear for all or not? Tell me. Everybody. I need a response from each and everyone. Very good. Very good. Now, what is step number 2 here? What is step number 2 here? Register the component. Register the component in any one module. Right now, I have only one module in my application, that is app module. So what I can do in that, I wanted to register the component. So where you can register, we have to register under the declaration. Understand? Declaration section you can go and register the component. Declaration section you can go and register the component. Registration means just giving it as an entry. That's it. That is step number 2. You can see here. Register the component in any one module. By default, we have app module, but very soon we will be creating different modules also. You don't need to worry about that. I will take care of it. Okay. Now, step number 2 is clear for all or not? Tell me. Step number 2. Step number 2 is clear. Everyone. Good, good. Guys, don't ask silly question. Google Classroom. I'm explaining this first. Listen this. At the end, you can ask me that question, right? Why you are thinking about that? Step number 3 is what? Bootstrapping the component. Bootstrapping is nothing but initializer. Now, what component we wanted to execute, that you can give it over here. Now, here we have earlier app component, but now I wanted to execute which one? Employee component. So that you can give in step number 3, bootstrap the component. That means in the bootstrap, you can give what? Employee component. Understood this step? That means I'm setting up this component as my startup component. Nothing apart from that one. Clear now? Clear this step, step number 3? Tell me, step number 3 is clear or not? Everyone. I need a response from everyone. Very good, nice. And then the next step is going to be, and then the next step is okay. Now you see the bootstrap. I'm sorry, guys. So the next step is going to be, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Next step is going to be bootstrap. Now that is done. And then once if it is done, the next one is going to be what? The next one is going to be what? Whatever the selector we have, use that selector in index.html, because index.html is the starting page, right? Yes or no? So that I can copy that and I can give it over there. That means in index.html, we can give that particular decorator, sorry, particular selector. Step number 2, na? Okay, very good. Step number 2. Step number 2 means generally, Ashish, like how that Angular application, as I told you, suppose you're developing an application for Naresh IT. Naresh IT will contain what? Let's say Naresh IT. Naresh IT is having different modules. That means faculty is one module, admins are one module, and HR department another module, right? Yes or no? Definitely everything is like, different module. Now, this is what we call it as a module. Module 1. And second one is going to be module 2. And third one is going to be module 3. Suppose let's say I created something like, I created a component which is going to be trainer dot component dot ts. Outside if I'm creating, then how I come to know this is belongs to the trainer module or this is belongs to the, let's say, suppose just assume that I'm writing here employee, just assume that I'm writing here employee. In place of that, I'm writing here something like employee if I'll be using. Just assume that I'm writing here an employee. Now tell me, is that employee component is belongs to trainer or admin or HR? Tell me. Because everyone is an employee to Naresh IT only, right? Ashish, tell me. See, tell me. My question is, trainer is an employee to Naresh IT. Admin is not an employee. He is also an employee only, right? Yes or no? He is also an employee only. HR you can take, they are also part of an employee. Then if I'm creating outside of like, the module, outside of the module, then we'll have a confusion, right? We will have a confusion or not? Yes or no? To overcome that, in Angular, every component that you have created, that must be the part of module. Okay, every component that you have created, that must be the part of the module. Understand? And how do we specify this employee component is belongs to module 1? That you can decide with the help of declaration. That means we have the declaration section. There you can give the component. Understand? That is the second step. That is the second step. Is this clear now? Second step is clear now. Tell me. Very good. Nice. Now, fine. I have done like, all the sanity, initial sanity, it is done. Now the last step is going to be execute the project. So how we can execute the project? We have a command, something like ng serve hyphen project is equal to, we have the project name, I guess components demo or component. Okay. GL Narayana, that is the reason where practice TypeScript. I told you in practice session, in TypeScript session, what is important export statement. You practice today and ask me the same question tomorrow if you're not understand. Okay. Because if you can see in TypeScript, whatever I have explained, all how to create the variable, and you know how do we use that import statement. That is where whatever is required, I'm explaining up to that much. I'm not going to explain you like, something more outdated things. My way of teaching is a bit different when compared with other. I'm targeting only the current trending topics. That's it. I don't want to follow like, that outdated topic, who created Angular, when it was created, and at what year it was. Understand? And all those unnecessary things are not required. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do, now I have created everything. Now I'm trying to execute. So how we can do that one? Ng server hyphen project is equal to, now I'm trying to go with components demo, that what I can use. That time when I'm executing it, now you can see. See there, generating the browser application bundles. See this. Generally, this is how it is. Now compiled successfully, and then if we can execute it, if we can execute this, then we are able to see that output. You can see that. Welcome to Angular component. Now employee ID 101 and employee name is Srikanth that we are having, and salary is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we have. Understood now? Any questions here? Tell me. Any questions for anyone? Okay. Now what you have to do is whatever we have discussed. Okay, whatever I'm doing here, I'm just sharing with you guys. I'll just copy. Okay, first let me give like this one. First of all, let us give like about something component. Components are not yet done. We will be understanding with another example also. Don't worry. Okay, just this is very basic example. First, you need to understand the flow. That is important for me. Nothing apart from that one. Maybe I can open my classroom link here. Now in the classroom link, Angular 15 9 a.m. And then following with example also, that what I'll be trying to give it over here. Just you can see an example that what I have given, and then posting it. Okay, I'm posting here. That's it. I'm posting here. Now, what you can do is, somebody is asking me link. I'm sharing with you guys. Please don't ask. Okay. Now, sir, please solve my. Sir, we have green color, but it is not applied. Where it is? You can give like this. Maybe this time it will work. save it, and then let me open it. Terminal, and there I can go with the command prompt ngs -- project is equal to components demo. ng not in internal and external command problem. Preeti, you have to reinstall that Angular. Okay, you have to reinstall that Angular. Why? What happened to this? Just a minute. H1 is there. H1 is available. We should give. Okay, maybe I can give one. Let's try. Save it. H1 color colon. Okay, anyhow, we will see this. Don't worry. Otherwise, just give me 1 minute. Inline, as I told you, we will be using very less. Inline components in Angular. Apply styles, I can say. Just let's come back here, and here you can see font weight normal. No need to give here. You can remove, and you can remove this one, and you can remove and save it. And then you can see we have an output. Let me try to open it. Localhost 4200. Now we have the green color, and then followed with, let's say, text align, text align. Let's write the center and save it. And you can see we will be having it. That's it. Understand? Okay. So for you, the assignment is, take the same example. Yeah, every project it is 4200 port. That is the default port number. Now for you, the assignment is, here I'm taking an employee information, right? What you people have to do is, you have to take, let's say, student information. Okay, student information like student ID, name, and then student marks. You can take that and display like this. As I told you, these are very initial days, so that it is very important to understand the system. Okay, how to create the component, and how do we register? Those things are very important. You please start doing that first of all, and later we'll see about it. Okay. That's it, guys, for the day. We will continue. Thank you and have a nice day.